or whatever you want to call it, of N2Net. And if your internet access is working, your bandwidth is coming from us using this gentleman's radios here. Up to my right, I've got Ron Deuce from NetX Internet, who is the CEO of NetX Internet. It's a wireless ISP out of Lorain. I'll let Ron chirp in a little bit and tell us a little bit about his organization.
Sure. Well, NetX is pretty a new ISP. Started out in 2003. Kind of bought out an older ISP, which is just doing dial-ups and DSL services, working with and through the ILEX. And because of our experiences with that, we decided to completely shift over to doing wireless internet access, and found some pretty good success in doing that, and getting pretty excited, pretty deep involved in wireless communications, which
the new last mile.
The new last mile, and kind of leapfrogging or jumping over the ILEX in the process. So it's been great.
Excellent. And on my left here is Frank Muto, who's the founder of the Washington Bureau for Internet Advocacy, is it?
Right.
ISP Advocacy?
Right. About a year and a half ago, we had, my background basically starts in '94, starting with web hosting and development. Came in ISP in 1996, grew into facility-based in '97, and got my ass kicked in about 2001 with the ILEX, losing a couple $1 million in DSL equipment and so forth when they said I couldn't do it anymore. So my goal at that point, I was also running a marketing group, which I still do, which is FSM Marketing Group. My biggest key right now is helping my friends and my peers that are still left in the industry figure out what to do with it. I mean, we've brought the internet to dial-up ISPs, the mom and pops, everybody that has modem pops and Sunoco stations in the middle of Missouri, yes, they are out there, like that, to whatever. And we're basically getting killed as consumers and business people as ISPs out there. So the WBIA was formed November of 2004, and our base office is out of Fairfax, Virginia. Cynthia De Lorenzi, who's from Texas, whose real aggressiveness is in the grassroots, is in Fairfax, and she walks the halls at the Braeburn building and so forth like that, trying to get ISPs and CLECs a little bit more voice in the industry. The biggest key, though, is it's not just us, the ISPs, it's the consumers that are out there. I don't care if it's a business or if it's your own home, if you run a Soho. Right now, I do a lot of my own business is out of Soho's businesses, accountants to tax pre-bill and things of that nature, and they need high-speed access, better than dial-up. I mean, they might not need great uplink or things of that nature, but they at least got to get some, especially accountants that need to get some big files, 2 or 3 megs down. So we're getting hurt as consumers as well. What happened right now, we're talking about AT&T now. You got Verizon, and we're getting back to the Ma Bell now, everybody calling it Papa Bell. But again, the question is, whatever happened in 1984, they called it antitrust then. Why is it not antitrust now?
That actually leads into a good question.
Right.
By a show of hands, I mean, I know Drew used to run an ISP. Anybody else out there used to run an ISP? No? Okay, well, what about consumers? Obviously, then we've got a consumer crowd here. Generally, what I think I can speak for everybody up here when we say that as ISP owners, what we try to do is we try to bring the consumers what they want. We try to give them the services that people need. If you want high-speed access, if you want 6 meg DSL, we're going to try to get it to you. If you want 3 meg DSL or wireless or 45 meg wireless, we're going to try what we can do to give it to you. And it's ironic that we're at this point in the industry where 10 years ago, in 1996, was the telecom bill of 1996, which created deregulation, in quotes. And deregulation allowed ISPs and independent third parties to be able to lease access to the telecommunications network that, in a lot of cases, your tax dollars have built. Every time that you pay for a phone line or every time you pay for a phone call, a certain percentage of that money goes to fund Ma Bell's management of that facility, that what we call last mile copper. And unfortunately, in the last 10 years, all of the tenements, or virtually all of the tenements of that bill, have been completely reversed and erased. So we've gone from what was essentially looked like it was going to be a good thing. We've gone to something that's now, we're back to where we were pre-1996, and it's only taken 10 years. Now, the conspiracy theorists out there will say, well, Ma Bell's been planning this for a long time, and they just divested, and now we're back to, instead of one great large company, AT&T, we're back to now AT&T, Verizon, and the others. But all of us up here have war stories about how ILECs have unfairly competed with us in the market. Things like when we bring our customers, we'll call the help desk for the ILEC that's providing us the last mile DSL service, and the first thing out of the customer service rep's mouth is, well, have you considered upgrading to AT&T's 6 meg DSL product? And we're going, we're an independent ISP selling your product. You're not supposed to be marketing to our customers. I'm sure, Ron, you've got plenty of stories about stuff like that that's happened out in your territory. Care to share any?
Sure, absolutely. When, especially when we got started with DSL access. Matter of fact, by show of hands, who uses DSL? All right, and who uses cable? All right, a little bit more than on the cable side.
I use both.
One of the things that we ran into is similar stories that Greg had was we were using the ILEX DSL lines to provide service to our customers, and it kind of worked out. But whenever there was a problem, we had the ILEX calling our customers and telling them, hey, your ISP is the problem. You need to switch to us, and then all your problems will be solved. And unfortunately, a lot of our customers listened to them because they thought, hey, this is the telephone company. They got to be telling the truth. They got to be, having my best interest in mind. And they went ahead and did that, and problems never got solved. And we went and spent a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy in trying to help our consumers. And at the end of the day, we got the rug pulled out from under us. And those are just like one of the things that we would get, from the ILEX.
The other interesting thing is that generally, I think the independent ISPs as a group have always advocated growth and development of the internet and the ability for people to really innovate. And unfortunately, the ILECs have basically squashed innovation. I mean, if you look at what's happened in the last 10 years with the internet and the growth and the fact that it's actually gone from something that was kind of neat and cool as a research institution into something that's now, it is absolutely 100% a utility in the terms of using it. I don't even get a paper anymore just because it's a waste of time. I go to FARC for my news. But the last 10 years have been an incredible amount of innovation, and that's been opened up by the fact that the Bell's networks by TA96 were opened up to competition. That competition spurred innovation, and that innovation created a lot of the services that are out there and a lot of the interesting things. Voice over IP, as an example, is right now the next biggest thing, I guess you'd call it, on the internet. But right now, the way that you listen to Ed Whitaker and the others at the top of the ILEC chain, they want to start basically rate limiting your ability to use the internet connection that you purchase and you pay for. So I think independent ISPs in general have been against filtering the internet unless we're actually legally required, and of course that's where some of the net neutrality issues have come up lately as far as the competition. Frank's got a lot of great info on that.
The biggest thing we got to understand as consumers, again, I'm a consumer, I'm an ex-ISP, the telecommunications bill of 1996 basically just gave us ISPs the ability to lease a specific line or to put a modem pool in our own. I started out with 100 pair lines sitting in a basement with a bunch of modems and getting internet access to my neighborhood. That's where I started out. And the phone company was just like, what are you doing? Okay, you got to understand one thing. The telephone companies in 1984 were split up into 8 different Bells. Okay, and then it got consolidated a little bit more. 1996 gave them all 7. That was a regularized monopoly for many, many, many years from the Telecommunications Act of 1934. Okay, none of us cared about that. You all remember, depending how old you are, things of that nature, the rotary phones as we picked up. When the TA96 bill came, a lot of us techs and geeks and a lot of us out there figured out how to take that ARPANET, which was basically between schools and the military and things of that nature, and the dial-up and the web became, Mosaic came and things of that nature, and all of a sudden, things started rolling around. But if you would have thought about who controlled that access, it was the regional Bell operating centers, okay? You've got three things you got to worry about. You've got your CLECs, where they're competitive local exchange carriers, which is where we had for the law. Your ILEC was an incumbent local exchange carrier. Frontier, Altel, whatever. SBC at that time. Now you got regional Bell operating companies, which are your Ma Bells, so which is your Verizons and whatever, now AT&T, Bell South, Quest. Well, that was kind of a pseudo. They stole somebody's stock to become a phone company and then come over, with it. So as consumers, we're always at their beck and call, whatever we want, okay? You're forced to have, for DSL, you're forced to have, now they're starting to get away with it. In fact, Verizon, anybody in Verizon territory? I can tell you a couple things. April 10th, you're able to have DSL without a phone. Secondly, if you switch over to Verizon, kiss your copper goodbye. They're physically going to take your copper off your building. You cannot have any more copper. If you got an alarm system, too bad. You got FiOS, whoopee-doo, okay, for your internet connection. Got to remember that. But you can stop them from doing it. Technically, it's illegal. We haven't figured out how to take the FCC to court yet on that. But what Verizon is doing right now is in your home or your building, or wherever you're at, they're bringing in their FiOS, which is their fiber, giving you internet access, giving you a digital phone, which they're having problems with 9/11 too, but the FCC won't live up to it, and the like. And they're going to pull your copper out of there. So if you have an alarm system, monitoring system, or say you have an apartment building with a couple people in there, they don't want it. They're stuck. But when they come install it, you sit there right in front of them and you tell them to leave it alone. Okay, that's just anybody with Verizon FiOS right now, right? Yes.
Just to clarify, you mean when they take out the copper, they need some sort of power backup system for this fiber?
Let me tell you one thing. You got an 8-hour battery system that you're going to have to worry about dealing with. And that's the whole problem right now is Congress. Congress has no idea that technology that's behind what's going on with the fiber and what it'll do. And you only got 8 hours battery pack on there. If you're in FiOS, if you're on the Verizon, and they're going to send you a battery to go pick it, and you're going to do what with it? Okay, you're going to count on that for an emergency. What's happening in the industry right now is the big two right now, AT&T and Verizon, are doing everything they possibly can, and supposedly in our best interest, but are literally killing our ability for homeland security. The biggest problem we have right now, and the fight we're having right now, that your congressman won't bring to you, that your senators won't bring to you, is the fact that they don't understand homeland security. The digital age is not secure. It is not going to be helpful. There is no redundancy. When you start eliminating the copper, that's 100 years in the ground. That still works. Do not give up your copper. Your FiOS, that battery goes down, kiss it goodbye. Okay? When the power goes out, you still got a ring-a-ding-ding on your little copper phone. Always keep one available. I spend right now, I came from Illinois and now in Ohio. I'll spend the $12 a month to have that little Princess phone sitting in the corner. I will never, ever give up a tried and true copper. Never, never will. As far as, yeah. What's that?
$41 a month. About 50 for me.
No, they're stealing it from you. They're stealing it from you. You can get a basic phone for about $12 to $13 plus taxes.
You have to argue with them. The first time
It's there.
Say it's not available,
Yeah.
and you just ask to speak to a manager.
It's right there on their website. You can go right to their website and order it.
It's buried, but you can find it.
You can find it.
It's not an advertised service.
Okay. Well, I'm an SBC AT&T affiliate, and I sell their new Direct Connect as far as what they call their web partner program. I do roughly about somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000 of those sales a month. People are calling me up. How do I get this cheap thing? Well, you can just go here, here, here. We show them how to do it. Put in my affiliate link. I make $10, and off they go. Okay. But the problem, it is there. But SBC is not going to tell, or AT&T is not going to tell you it's there. Okay, it's part of the Lifeline circuit. Okay, it's part of the Lifeline circuit. And if you really want to cheat, just if your grandmother's living with you, your mom and dad, and they're over 50 years old, you got it. There you go. They got to have a Lifeline. There's nothing they can do about it. It's got to be there. They haven't stolen that away yet, but it's got to be there. as far as that's concerned. But the key for consumers is, when's the last time you heard, you got all our, and I'm not coming down on Congress, I'm not coming down on what's going on, but the problem is, they think they know what's good for us consumers, okay? When's the last time you got a letter or a phone call or anything from a congressman or senator and says, hey, we're talking about the telephones, internet.